you know that feeling when like you see someone or you're speaking to someone that you maybe know you don't know them, and like it just there's an inclination to kind of debate them. There's an inclination to kind of prove them wrong. That feeling's got to go, man. And you know what it is? I'm saying this because that's me, bro. That's me, man. I've just the debate. There's something about it, because again, maybe it's not even that I'm always right, but it's just the feeling that I'm right is so strong within me. Yeah, it's so strong that the inclination to debate is just so prominent. The inclination to argue and this stuff there. But now, because I can definitely see, like, I'm coming out of a period in my life. Like, when I say period, I only mean a couple weeks, okay? Like, just in the last couple weeks, I would say maybe 3 weeks ago. But then, like, for a block of 4 to 3 weeks, from 3 weeks ago, there was a block when, like, a week, 2 week, 3 week, where, bro, God was just sending me so many people to argue with, so many people to have these sort of discussions with you. And again, I haven't really had the opportunity to discuss my real, beliefs, let's call them, to general people in the public for like a couple months. The last conversation I had was with a guy that he came to my cousin's house. I made a little video talking about that. But nevertheless, I can kind of see how that was training for me to reflect on that one, and I can kind of see, because when I would have these conversations, it wouldn't land, and I before I even, because I know that there's a church, okay, that are these debaters, okay, they go into the streets and they're like the prominent debaters in my town, innit, yeah. But like, I already know, like, because again, there's my own sister is part of this group, okay? It's a church, it's called Charis Church, okay? My own sister's part of this group, okay? So for the past 3 years, I've been of 2 to 3 years, I've been trying to just basically argue with her, let's say, trying to just drill home the fact that what she's in is pointless and shit and all of this stuff. Because in my opinion, it is. If I was experiencing that, and that's the important thing, if I was experiencing that, I would find it shit. I couldn't be a part of them. Yet she would still tell me to be a part of them, but she doesn't understand I could not ever be a part of them. And again, less to the point, because again, it's very dogmatic, all of this stuff, but less to that. Okay, the point that I want to make is how that my reaction to this, to her being part of this group, has put such a strong strain on our relationship. And it's not just that, because it's the general public thing. It's a public thing, to reject this group. It's a public thing to reject this group, yeah. It's a thing that is common in my town. It's a common thing to reject this group and to say, oh, like, these men are just off their nut, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then at the same time, we're all off our nut. You know what I mean? Like, we're all off our nut. You know what I'm saying? And we're all experiencing something individual for ourselves, So this is what I mean, like, and I know that, and I know that we're all experiencing something that's meant for us, blah, blah, blah. Yet the inclination to still debate, at least I haven't really experienced it. I mean, my dad kind of knocks the door on me, but then I'm beginning to, it's going down. But maybe that's just because of the period I'm in right now. Maybe in like a couple of weeks it'll go back up and I'm debating and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, the point that I want to make is that this, inclination to debate, this inclination to prove that you're right, is something that you should be aware of, because again, for a long time, I was never I knew it, but I would never see myself as in the wrong. I wasn't able to see that because I just thought I was so correct anyways. But I couldn't see how my approach to that discussion, my approach to try and help someone, let's say, was also being guided by my approach to kind of push my identity onto someone else. You know what I'm saying? And again, these people that are trapped in these groups, it's impossible for them to see that. That's just the truth. Like, because again, when I've been part of a group that isn't, that I can't fully say that I identify for myself, you know what I mean? Or at least, like, I'm not saying that the people in the groups don't identify with themselves, but in the way that I would say I identify with myself is the fact that I can see that I'm wrong. You know, my whole identity is that I'm wrong. You know, I'm right, but I'm wrong. You know, it's a play of both. You know, but when you're in a situation where you kind of have to be right to support that, like for example, with like, I would say dogmatic religion, as I call it, the whole sense that if you're a believer of a certain religion and you follow the dogmatic path in which you believe that your religion is right and all religions are wrong, then you see the world completely differently than I do, just as an indifference of identity. So I feel like if you're in that position, you would struggle to see what I'm getting at, you know. But again, it's nothing to do with that. This video is more me again and again. This is another thing very important to me: vulnerability. You know, it's the vulnerability of me putting responsibility on myself to say, cool, in these situations, there, I can see how I'm trying to push my identity. That's the ego in me, trying to push that identity of what I believe, you know, into someone that is not going to land in. You know, is not going to land in. And again, my whole belief is that you can't really land this shit. In my opinion, I think you can't land this shit. Because I've only seen it land in people that already had a bit of a taste of it. If you ain't had a taste of it, it's not gonna land, you know. And this is something that I can see for myself, because I can see how this whole shit just came to me. Like, it just came to me. Like, I was in a space where I wasn't thinking religion, nothing. I wasn't thinking nothing. I was just in that space for a bit of time, and then slowly, like, you know, it was just so subtle though. But I remember the steps, and I remember the steps, and I remember how it wasn't forced on me. It was it was a slow surrender. You know, this process is a slow surrender. That's a good way to put it. This process is a slow surrender. It's not, okay, that's it, take me. It's not that. It's not, you're not at gunpoint. You know what I mean? It's like, the gun is just slowly coming out of the pocket. And then you're looking and you're like, oh my God, my man's about to blam a gun at me. But I got time. Oh shit, we're halfway there. Nah, I got time though. I got time. Let me actually start raising my hands up, because I've got a bit of time. Okay, now it's getting a bit serious. Let me get my hand up a bit more. It's like that. It's a slow surrender. It's a slow surrender, you know. It's not bang. You know, like that's how they do it though. It's like, you know about the word of Jesus. You know about the word of Jesus. You know about the word of Jesus. That's what they do. And that's what I was, but then I just had my gun as well. I was just like, yeah, you know that you have to shed your identity. You know the word of Jesus. You know you got to shed your identity. You know the word of Jesus. You got to shed your identity, bro. You got to shed your identity. You got to shed your ego. You know that. You know you got to shed your ego. You got to trust Jesus, bro. No, you got to shed your identity, bro. You got to shatter the ego, G. You got to shatter the. It's the same thing. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. You know, and just be aware of you. You know, and appreciate the slow surrender in this life. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just felt like I had to make this one. I like this one. This one's smooth, you know. This one was nice. Because it was a really active feeding, so I just... You get them, man. But saying that in peace.